struggling. Not to the point where it was debilitating, but after, a few weeks of not consistently resting, I think your mind is so altered that you don't really, I don't know if it's that you just don't have a judgment of what's reality anymore, so.
I just feel like things like postpartum depression and anxiety and overall like mental health, like it's not really something that's talked, it's kind of like brushed over sometimes.
One of the biggest anxiety issues I have is driving in the car with my son. He early on was not good in the car. He would scream and cry until he was picked up. And every instinct of mine has told me when my son cries I should respond and pick him up. And it was heartbreaking to go anywhere and know that all he wanted was for me to pick him up, and I safely couldn't do that while we were in a moving vehicle. And it got to the point where I didn't want to go anywhere alone because the anxiety would build up of knowing that could happen. And it almost made it worse when I had to do car trips alone.
I knew that I was having anxiety, and I thought that maybe it might be postpartum anxiety, but I didn't know that the intrusive thoughts that I was having every time I got in the car, I didn't know that was a symptom of postpartum disorder. I just thought it was me being a stressed out, frantic mom who was scared to leave her baby.
I definitely had postpartum anxiety. Leaving the house was a big ordeal for me, especially when my wife went back to work. I would rather stay home and not get in the car and travel with my baby.
My experiences postpartum within my 2 pregnancies were very different. My first pregnancy, in which I had a loss at 22 weeks, postpartum, I was very depressed, and I was very sad for, I would say, close to a year. I was in a very, very dark place. Probably just because of all the what ifs, how it would have been when you're pregnant. You kind of build up this idea in your mind of how it's going to be, having a child, what your family's going to look like, where your life's going. And then to have that just inexplicably kind of taken away from you is real shock to the soul.
I kept having all these feelings of something bad was going to happen if I went away. I still do. I would just get these visions of something horrible happening. Get in the car and I could just see us driving and get this vision of every single time just getting smashed into the center divider. Every single time. And the very few times that I drove without her, I would still get the vision, but then it would just be me. And then I would think about her being left behind without a mom. And it just destroyed me. It's just so hard because you want to do everything that you can to protect your baby. And, some things are out of control. And I just couldn't let go of that. I couldn't let go of feeling that something bad was going to happen all the time, and so I always had to be there to protect her.
I think any woman that's going to be preparing to be a mom really needs to find other moms that she feels safe with, that she can talk about things, that she can go to for help, that can just become part of her everyday circle.
Getting counseling, working on coping skills, and talking to their support system, having a support system, developing a support system, whether that includes, the significant other or not, or family or friends. Knowing where those resources are ahead of time, I think, is key.
Just know that you're not the only one going through this. You're not the only one having those feelings, and get the help